Well, good morning and welcome to lesson 130. It is impossible to see two worlds. This is one of my favorite lessons. It's the same parable as no man can serve two masters. And the idea that you can reach two diametrically opposed results. So the mind can only hold one thought at a time. And when you train your mind, as we're doing through this Course in Miracles, when you train your mind to align to a single goal, then ultimately everything in your life will true up to that, and all of your relationships, whether they be through work or romance or with travel, everything in the world is a relationship. They'll all begin to true up in purpose to the new goal that we have set for our atonement, our salvation, our happiness. Okay, so perception is consistent. What you see reflects your thinking, and your thinking but reflects your choice of what you want to see. Your values are determiners of this. Your values are determiners of this. For what you value, you must want to see, believing what you see is really there. No one can see a world his mind has not accorded value, and no one can fail to look upon what he believes he wants. Yet who can really hate and love at once? Who can desire what he does not want to have reality? And who can choose to see a world of which he is afraid? Fear must make blind, for this its weapon is. That which you fear to see, you cannot see. Love and perception thus go hand in hand, but fear obscures in darkness what is there. What then can fear project upon the world? What can be seen in darkness that is real? Truth is eclipsed by fear, and what remains is but imagined. Yet what can be real in blind imaginings of panic born? What would you want that this is shown to you? What would you wish to keep in such a dream? Fear has made everything you think you see, all separation, all distinctions, and the multitude of differences you believe make up the world. They are not there. Love's enemy has made them up, yet love can have no enemy, and so they have no cause, no being, and no consequence. They can be valued, but remain unreal. They can be sought, but they cannot be found. Today we will not seek for them, nor waste this day in seeking what cannot be found. It is impossible to see two worlds which have no overlap of any kind. Seek for the one, the other disappears, but one remains. They are the range of choice beyond which your decisions cannot go. The real and the unreal are all there is to choose between, and nothing more than these. Today we will attempt no compromise where none is possible. A bit windy there. Today we will attempt no compromise where none is possible. The world you see is proof you have already made a choice as all-embracing as its opposite. What we would learn today is more than just a lesson that you cannot see two worlds. It also teaches that the one you see is quite consistent from the point of view from which you see it. It is all a piece because it stems from one emotion and reflects its source in everything you see. 6 times today in thanks and gratitude, we gladly give 5 minutes to the thought which ends all compromise and doubt and go beyond them all as one. We will not make 1,000 meaningless distinctions nor attempt to bring with us a little part of unreality as we devote our minds to finding only what is real. Begin your searching for the other world by asking for a strength beyond your own, and recognize what it is you seek. do not want illusions, and you come to these 5 minutes emptying your hands of all the petty treasures of this world. You wait for God to help you as you say, it is impossible to see two worlds. Let me accept the strength God offers me and see no value in this world that I may find my freedom and deliverance. God will be there, for you have called upon the great unfailing power who will take this giant step with you in gratitude. Nor will you fail to see his thanks expressed in tangible perception and in truth. You will not doubt what you will look upon, for though it is perception, it is not the kind of seeing that your eyes alone have ever seen before. And you will know God's strength upheld as you made this choice. Dismiss temptation easily today whenever it arises, merely by remembering the limits on your choice. The real or the unreal, the false or the true is what you see, and only what you see. Perception is consistent with your choice, and hell or heaven come to you as one. Accept a little part of hell as real, and you have damned your eyes and cursed your sight, and what you will behold is hell indeed. Yet the release of heaven still remains within your range of choice, to take the place of everything that hell would show to you. All you need say to any part of hell, whatever form it takes, is simply this: it is impossible to see two worlds. I seek my freedom and deliverance, and this is not a part of what I want. Incredible lesson. I love the bit where he says, hang on, if I can find it here. It is not the kind of seeing that your eyes alone have ever seen before. Right? And that's kind of integral. I remember I had an experience after a very long and profound meditation one day in Byron Bay when I was residing there for some years with a group of students of the course. I was walking up the street after meditation, and I was so joyous. I was so happy and peaceful, and I was looking at the people walking towards me down the main street as I was walking up to my coffee shop or wherever I was going, maybe to get some lunch. And a thought occurred to me. It's like, wow, these are all my brothers. And then as I had that thought in joy, the whole world vanished, like it just faded out like a dimmer switch. It just went dim, 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 dim. And all the shops, the roads, the cars and everything else became virtually translucent. All the people's bodies became translucent, and everything was like a kind of a shade of, how would you call it, very pale lilac. And I could see in the third eye area, you know, people talk about the third eye being in the middle of the forehead and that sort of thing. In the third eye area of every person walking towards me, this brilliant shining white light, just a tiny little pinpoint of light emerging from every person's forehead. And I realized in that moment that Jesus was showing me that, no, your brothers are not these bodies walking towards you. Your brothers are these light beings using these bodies, who are also, like mine, these avatars for the experience here in the physical dimension. So, and then as soon as I had that realization, everything came back to normal. But that was seen through my body's eyes for the first time ever in my entire life. And I'd never seen it before, just like it said in that lesson. It was beautiful, just for a moment. It stopped me in my tracks too, I must say. It was like, wow, what just happened? And for some reason, it's like when you have one of these profound revelations, these experiences, a spiritual experience, and I'm not talking about ones if you have any kind of a drug to bring that on, because I personally don't and won't validate those as a true spiritual experience, because I think that the true experience comes through inner guidance and through what would you say, on a need-to-know basis. That's not exactly how I want to say it, but it's like when you're ready for it, it'll happen. And when you try to have an experience through using drugs or something like that, it's like you're forcing your way in, and often experiences like that won't make much sense to you. It'll just be some like, wow, I had this experience that showed me this. Now, what do I do with that? Whereas when you're guided through the Holy Spirit and you have an experience so profound like that, it's something that integrates into a part of the journey that you're on consciously, and you know exactly what to do with it. It makes sense out of a whole bunch of stuff, and it flows onto the next particular piece of your unfoldment of your awakening. But it's impossible to see two worlds. And the other part in that lesson also is that where he says the world you see now, the physical world you see now, is a result of a choice that you've made. It's like in the limit of our choices, either to see it or not to see it. Well, in the realization that it holds nothing that I want because everything here ends in death, it's like, let me let that go. Let me just let go of everything I think I want here, no matter how pretty or dramatic or whatever it seems, and realize that everything here ends in death for a second, and not flinch from that realization, pardon me, hiccups. Not flinch from that realization. Let me allow that just for a second to sit in that and to own that and to be, what do people say these days, authentic with that, to be honest with that. It's like everything here ends in death. And I remember at a certain point when I was much, much younger, when I was probably 12 or 13 years old, questioning the world, wondering what the point of everything is that people do when they just die at the end of it, and their kids die at the end of it, and their kids die at the end of it, and all the struggle, and maybe I was a little older than 12, but not much older, and it just seemed pointless to me. It's like, this is a pointless experience or a pointless life. There's got to be something else here that makes sense of it all. There's got to be a reason or a purpose for being here other than just working and growing old, and so allowing that to dawn, allowing the realization to dawn that everything in the world ends in death, right? Albeit there is no such thing as death, but that whole prospectus where it doesn't matter what I do from day to day, it comes to an end here and then restarts again through that idea of reincarnation, all of it being illusory, all of it being a dream, reincarnation included. But getting out of that loop is the purpose, is the reason that we find ourselves here. It's like, all right, I'm here as a traveler in an experience of the denial of my true self, and this platform, this physical place that I've come to is an opportunity to make a choice, to choose again now, to re-embrace my truth, to re-embrace wholeness, oneness, and begin the purification process, begin the search for that which can only be found in my own mind, not out there in the world in sacred places or sacred relics or sacred things or anything like that. It's in me. So, and having had that experience of the enlightenment of my mind in 1997, and having lived through that experience under the auspices of this transformative Course in Miracles ever since, in the process of purification, which takes some whoops and turns, I tell you. I guarantee you it's much better as an alternative. There is a better way to see, a better way to think, a better way to live and to be in the world than what was there before. So, all right, that's it. I love you, and I mean that when I say that, I love you. Somebody said to me once, it's like, how can you just say that to people you don't even know. And it's like, well, I do know you. I know you better than you know yourself, most likely, unless you've also experienced that oneness, that union in God with me in your own association. And here we are again, learning to communicate through light rather than words. But I do mean it. I love you. Okay, peace.